Health to Innovation Training Program. Module 7, Sustainability in Healthcare. Sustainability practices and alignment of healthcare startups with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. In this topic, we will cover 4 points. First, Millennium Development Goals. Second, Sustainable Development Goals. Third, the interrelations between SDGs. And finally, the report and measurement of SDGs. Let's take a look at what you will learn in this topic. First, we'll explore how the SDGs emerged. Next, we'll discuss how the SDGs are structured and how their progress is measured. And finally, we'll examine how health tech startups are adopting and adapting their sustainable practices in alignment with the SDGs. Welcome to the Sustainability Practices and Alignment of Healthcare Startups with the Sustainable Development Goals lesson. SDGs, being a holistic approach, are of main relevance for companies, public sector, and for society in general. The 17 SDGs cover several dimensions: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership, and are all interrelated. The companies have been challenged to guide their actions in order to contribute to the achievement of these SDGs by 2030. Depending on the sector, business field, or the strategy defined, their action may focus more on one or another goal. First, Millennium Development Goals. When and why? In 2015, the 17 global SDGs were launched by the United Nations organization to put an end to poverty, protect the planet, and ensure prosperity for all. Each objective has specific targets to be reached by 2030. But first, the UN discussed and created the 8 Millennium Development Goals. The Millennium Development Goals were drawn up by the UN in 2000. The leaders of 191 nations committed themselves to establishing goals that would improve the quality of life of society. The deadline for achieving these goals was 2015. Watch the following video by clicking on it or accessing the link provided in the library section. Second, Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, came into effect in 2015. The deadline for its compliance is the year 2030. 17 SDGs and 169 targets as the basis of a universal agenda, with relevance and implications for all geographies, supported by the national governments, developed with the inputs from a range of relevant stakeholders, including business, and taking into account the innovation, disruption, and investment in R&D, involving 3 core elements: social inclusion, economic growth, and environmental protection. Watch the following video by clicking on it or accessing the link provided in the library section. Critical dimensions of SD. According to the UN, this agenda is a plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity. It also seeks to reinforce universal peace in greater freedom. We recognize that eradicating poverty in all its forms and dimensions, including extreme poverty, is the greatest global challenge and an indispensable requirement for sustainable development. These are the 5 critical dimensions of SD. Watch the following video by clicking on it or accessing the link provided in the library section. What about the SDG 3? SDG number 3, Good Health and Well-Being. Ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. 13 targets and 26 indicators. Covers 4 thematic areas. 1. Health throughout life. 2. Communicable diseases, NCDs, and risk factors. 3. Environmental diseases. And 4. Health systems. Watch the following video by clicking on it or accessing the link provided in the library section. Third, interrelations between SDGs. Some interrelations. SDG number 3 and SDG number 8. Example: increased health, well-being supports people to enter the workforce and contributes to economic growth and employment. Economic growth can have negative effects on environmental pollution, which can increase communicable diseases, illness, and death. SDG number 3 and SDG number 13. Example: climate change measures will improve air quality. The integration of climate change measures may lead to job losses and a negative effect on the economy, which indirectly constrains healthcare. Fourth, report and measurement of SDGs. How can we see if the SDGs are being achieved? The Sustainable Development Report, SDR, provides an annual review of the progress on the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, since they were adopted by the 193 UN member states in 2015. At the midpoint to the 2030 deadline, the 2023 edition assesses the achievements so far and highlights key areas for accelerating SDGs advancement. Released just before the 2023 Paris Summit for a new global financial pact, this year's report emphasizes the urgent need to increase development financing and reform the global financial system to better support the SDGs. Observe the interactive map and analyze the Sustainable Development Report 2023 by clicking on it or accessing the link provided in the library section. Analyze the state-of-the-art of each goal and its targets according to the country. A report of the overall performance and by indicator can be generated, as well as the dashboard and trends. In which SDGs should a health tech company focus on? It is impossible to be 100% in all of the 17 SDGs. It depends on the sector, activity, core values, positioning, strategy. Employees and the other stakeholders must be aware of the Sustainable Development Goals on which they are committed. The startups should compromise themselves in the SDGs they assume to be their compromise. See the example of Johnson Health Tech, SDG number 3, 4, 8, 12, 13, and 17. Some strategies to facilitate the alignment of health tech startups with the SDGs. Develop leadership for sustainability to plan specific strategies for sustainability. Improve sustainability awareness and enhance staff involvement. Pay more attention to advance the innovation that will improve sustainability. Increase collaboration between different areas of the business. This lesson was developed from the following key sources: